I have the honor to be here today to talk about eSports, what's next. It's a very fishy, strange title. I was asked by our PR guys to make a stronger one, like a clickbait one, but I think this was a very good example because I heard this once in our leadership meeting when we talked about eSports, and I was asked, okay, eSports, to talk about results, because no one had the clue what is really happening. What is it? Are we good? Are we bad? And the conclusion was, what's next? Okay, move on. What is the future? How do we handle it? The presentation as well, our PR team will be very happy as we changed it last minute to remove a lot of these selling slides. We had a lot of slides talking about wargaming, what we are, what we do. I don't think it's necessary to show off here numbers or anything. I will give you some interesting numbers locally here on site and some insight. Hopefully this will be a kickoff meeting for within the industry that people start to share more. There's one thing which I talk a lot with other big companies within the industry, with leaders in esports, that we try to keep it as a silo, ourselves, our experience, our investments, and not share it. And this is something Peter does an amazing job there already with data, but we have to come up as well and be honest and say, guys, we burned millions of euros, dollars. This is our experience. Learn from us if you want to. So this is just a cutout, just very briefly to see that's a pathway coming from. It's an ugly cutout. It's from an internal video showed for Victor, our CEO, so understand, hey Victor, you know the 32 million you invested, this happened more or less in the top level esports. So we invested so far in the last 3 years, 32+ million US dollars, just in the league, meaning the top level esports, not on the whole infrastructure. Here you can see a very interesting progress which we learned, because we first thought, okay, we did esports. We invested 10 million the first year and had 2012 a simple game here with no overlay, nothing, and started to stream it out and say, hey guys, are you happy with esports? We realized quite fast that we're far, far from it because we had no idea what is esports. Over the years with ESL, we worked very closely as well, our partners. We developed, especially you can see down there, the quality of the interaction, the entertainment value is increased and changed. With this as well, we understood more and more what do we have to change within the overlay to be appealing for the audience, because in the end we said, what is esports? What is it for the company, money-wise? What is for the viewer? So we understood one big thing for us, it's the entertainment factor, because a lot of our World of Tanks audience or Warships audience, the wargaming guys are older gentlemen. They're not the young ones who sit on Twitch. We have, luckily, financially strong audience, but they have no clue what is esports, why should I Twitch, why should I view it, I don't give a damn. So this was an interesting challenge for us to make a transformation to see, okay, do we get into the right direction? Do we invest the money right to be appealing for them? Sadly, I can't say we're there yet, we're far from it, because our esports is 7 versus 7, our core gameplay is 15 versus 15. So a lot of our core audience said, I watched something, I have no clue, no connection, because it's not the game I play, and this is the truth. But why do they watch it? Why do we increase every year, double the viewership, double the participants? And this is something we realize is important, the entertainment factor. If you sell the information you have in your game, the core information to the audience in a very easy, digestible way, the players who you have are interested, the core guys. But all the big audience, the Twitch guys, which we'll see later in a bit, who have no clue about World of Tanks, they get the entertainment factor. And this is something I would highly recommend, guys, focus on that. Focus on entertainment. This is what the streamers do. They play 50 different games, they don't care, but they have hundreds of thousands followers because they make it entertaining. Here's something of this, what we realize as well, evolution of entertainment. Sadly, a lot of publishers, developers focus on the past. We are all dinosaurs, we come from retail boxes. We said, okay, this is how we do it, we must keep it for ourselves and screw the rest. But the rest is not waiting for us anymore. The evolution is happening, we can't control it. A lot of publishers today, even ourselves in the beginning, we tried, okay, we make our own sphere just for us and people have to fit into this. Instead, the evolution happens with Twitch, YouTube Live, Azubu, Hitbox. They drive a new kind of entertainment which the audience today is used to it. And if we do not adapt as publishers or developers to the needs of this audience, we miss out a lot. Here you can see something very interesting. Two completely different kind of streamers. This guy is Quickie Baby, one of our bigger guys for World of Tanks. And this guy is Pro Fresco, is his name, Hayden. I'm a very, very big fan, entertainment-wise, from this young man here. He's a League of Legends heavily YouTuber especially. His videos hits 200 to 1 million viewers within 48 hours, and he's funny. He's not an amazing player, he's not a top player, but he has connections to this esports scene through the world. He likes to watch it, he likes to talk about it. So to understand what is esports for us, we have to look what is entertainment for the audience today. If we don't get this connection right, if we don't understand, okay, what is necessary, we drive into a dead end. And this is something some of the colleagues within the industry try to create this themselves, to say this is just us, and this is where we drive. And here you can see it's a very nice snapshot from the Twitch cloud from a year before, and you can see the big games. It's a very big cloud. They're all connected somehow. And then suddenly you see, hey, wait, World of Tanks is a very, in the end it looks a small portion, but if you look at the big Twitch cloud, how many people there are, it's a very big audience. When we showed this to the CEO, he said, wow, why do we do then this all just for the players, but if they're not interested, he said, first you have to get here. These are millions of players watching over the year. And the interesting part is, our product is out of the Twitch cloud. I had a long discussion with Kevin, this CEO from Twitch, about this. For me, it's a great opportunity, because they say, guys, this is currently happening. So hundreds of millions of players watching Twitch over and over. Now we come in with a content, entertainment factor, which is interesting for our core audience, which comes through our channels to Twitch. And sadly, I don't have the latest year. This was from 2014. Last year, we made a lot of changes, especially visually and content-wise, within the esports scene. This year, I asked already for an updated sheet that it turns into like a triangle here. So we can see it changes the audience who would digest World of Tanks esports, the high level and entertainment, becomes a cloud of a very big audience within the Twitch universe. So this is something which Peter mentioned just before. Suddenly we target or have a reach within an audience we never even target for us as a company, as a business. We target for the older gentlemen, the historians, the very heavily spenders, but we never targeted anyone for tomorrow. We didn't build any bridges. And this is something which esports as a publisher allows us to connect suddenly our game, our brand, and this is important, the brand to the technology entertainment source of tomorrow. 1 second, just need to. So this is now an interesting chart, but just the piece. This is something I had to remove a lot of content. As said, this presentation was changed. I had an initial one from PR. I didn't like it. It's just showing off the PR ones here. This is how we are. This is something directly from our vision meetings we had with the leadership team. We created now a competitive gaming department. First, we had esports, we had clans, we had meta games, but we always said, hey, esports is more than just esports what we see, like the top players. It's connected to a way, way bigger ecosystem. And this is something then we finally, after now this year, we merged everything under one umbrella globally. All the departments work in one direction to create a player journey. And you can see here is the biggest audience. These fields, I had to remove them. These are names of projects which I had to remove because they are in development right now. And I would not like the public to see them at this point because the community would either love, kill, or in the end it would kill us, because first we would commit to something and it's very hard to deliver on time. So these are all content pieces which come into certain circles. And why this circle, to understand, we realized that the esports, our WGL, the league, the top league of the top clans, are directly connected to a very big journey, an ecosystem. We call it the player journey within. And this is something I can share in this group, and hopefully we start something to this in more future. Our audience, which moves from a single random audience to the team and clans, which in the end the socializing audience, which play tournaments, which plays competitive gaming, has a 3 times higher lifetime within our own audience than the original, 3 times. So average lifetime for our audience, 8 months, on average. This is a very strong number, 3 times higher, and the spendings of them, the RPPU and RPU, is even the 3.5 times higher. And it goes up to, we have some guys who spend a tremendous amount, and they all fit in here. So it's a funnel which goes in this direction. The more they get engaged, the more they get higher in this circle of socializing and competitive gaming, the higher their spending behavior is in the lifetime. So this is something Why is it interesting for a company to do this? How do we make money with this? No, we don't make money with sales of tickets. We don't make money with like viewerships. We have a big event, 4 million unique viewers, the grand finals. We don't monetize it there. Where we monetize as a publisher, developer, is through the player journey, through the lifetime value we create to give a connection to the audience. We give content which is created and digested by all pillars with a high-level esports, but we give them a road. The majority of our players will never even dream to go there, never, not even through the channel or through the ranked system. They will not go there. But they still digest the content. They sit down and they invest and socialize around this content. This is something very interesting. One of the big changes we made this year, because when we show the ecosystem, how it goes, our top league in the past, this was 14. We invested 10 million in the league. 14, this, just to give you an idea, 81% of this investment went to partners. So like partners running the league, sponsorship, marketing activities, whatever. But then we realized the teams, what do we really want to create? What is the vision behind our esports? What do we believe in? As it's a part of an evolution of entertainment, we knew that these teams, the top teams, they should be able to sustain themselves without the need of publishers. Right now, it's still heavily driven by publishers and developers, like Wargaming, Riot, Blizzard. They own this sphere very heavily, but I believe it will change. It will, through technology, the audience, the community will be the owners, naturally. It will happen naturally. And now is our momentum, either we can try to climb and try to suffocate and label it, or we try to create a base, tools, and the right brand mindset within this today's community so we are ready for tomorrow. And this is what we did this year. We changed the whole split of the 10 million and changed it into the investment into the teams directly. To give you an idea, we give 3.5 million prize money this year, but we split it, said half of it you get based on your ranking, the other half based on content you create around your brand as a team, not World of Tanks. You can play whatever game you want to play. The thing is, we want you to increase viewership around you, want to increase followership around you, be one of the pillars within the community, and we pay you. We did this, and finally we could see the team suddenly get from us a paycheck, 10,000 USD for this month because you created nice content, and then they get paycheck suddenly from YouTube and Twitch on top of this, and suddenly they have sponsors coming, and they realize, hey, wait, Wargaming, we get a friction of what you give us now from partners, from bigger partners, and this is the end what we should create. We should not try to limit these teams, these individuals, these crusaders for esports and evolution of entertainment. We should help them to grow naturally, that they can sustain without us. Maybe it's stupid to say, but this is what we believe in, what we want to create with the players. Something, I made it very short because I'm going to wrap up, especially on questions, because I hope this keynote is about that we talk honestly, sharing experience. What is esports going to be? What will it be tomorrow? I was asked, one of the most questions asked, why money? Do you make money? Yes, we make money. Not as cash in our hands. We have a lifetime. The whole team, our goal in the competitive gaming global team is lifetime. Increase lifetime. This is the only goal that matters for us. The other question I get a lot from within the industry, okay, should we develop a game focused on esports? I had interesting discussions with Riot and as well with Blizzard colleagues there about exactly this topic, and even internal with some of our studios, because they said, hey Mo, what do we need to create to be an esports game? And I would always recommend, after now investing 32 millions in a lot of experience and burning money, don't create an esports focused game. Create a game which you believe in, which is basic, what you want to create as a developer, but keep in mind esports. It's very important. We made a very big mistake with World of Tanks in this matter. We created 15 versus 15 core game, and then we realized it doesn't fit in esports. You can't sustain a team of 15 in a high professional level. It doesn't work. Even to keep a team of 7 versus 7 active and running is not naturally. At the same time, you can't show skill level if you have 15 players, a live stream happening. How can you show the audience at home, hey, this was an amazing action happening? There are 15 different individuals, in totally 30 views. So we realized, okay, we had to narrow it down. So we had to disconnect from our core gameplay to make esports, but then again, we lost a very big audience of the core gamers from our game, actually. So this is something we said, guys, when you create a game, and now we're coming, some of our projects, upcoming games, they we share this knowledge, and they know it now. Okay, we create a game which we believe in. It must be competitive, but then keep in mind it must be able. Let's say even if you make it 10 versus 10 or 20 versus 10, it's fine. But you need a equally low-level team-based, meaning like 5 versus 5, 3 versus 3. The smaller, the better. Equally player journey, which equals the big one. So now, example in ships, World of War ships, we had 12 versus 12, and we released 7 versus 7, a ranked system, nearly at the same time. And we could see, still we did mistakes there as well, I don't have to hide it. We limited it to a certain tier, means you need a certain level in the game itself to participate. But then we could see when people reach this level, tier 6 and 7, 48 to 52% of the audience joined this gameplay, this game mode. And so then we could see there is a connection. Now we can use this content. We can show 7 versus 7 live streams and make stars around these players and teams. And we connect it to the casual guy, the hardcore guy, the money spender within our own game, because he said, here, this is a game mode I can play. So this is why I would always say, guys, keep in mind, esports is crucial and depending on development. If you're very fortunate, you have maybe the money, as luckily we had in the past, and we could do this to make this progress, this learning. But at this point, I would say, guys, developers out there, publishers, get a key list. What do you want to be with esports? What do you want to be? Like small teams, easy digestible information to people. Let the teams have a chance to grow, like meaning monetize themselves, like skins, avatars, whatever they can sell to sustain. Because this approach to say we don't care about the pro-level top teams as well is a death sentence, because they will be the crusaders and the entertainment creators from tomorrow. So this is something very, very important. I hope that a lot of more developers will focus on esports, but not develop games for esports. It's a very interesting thing, and Mike Morhaime just released a few days ago an article about exactly this. That's a very tricky journey. And I hope that everyone in this room and even now in DICE have a discussion about this as well, and around the world, that we can rip down these walls as developers and publishers and share the information openly. So I hope I could give a bit insight, and I hope we can share a bit what's happening and what we're aiming for, especially with the new products we learned the last 4 years experience. And I gladly would answer any questions, if there are any questions. I would say now is a chance, because we do it very rarely, sadly too rarely, these events where publisher developers sit down, open up and say, okay guys, ask what you want. There's no PR here, no marketing. Maybe they're here somewhere from Wargaming, but we don't need to greenlight any answers. So please, if you have questions, feel free.
I have a microphone available. Well, maybe I replay the question that we had in the last session, where the money comes out. If there are a certain number of people who play games, and there's going to be a large audience of people who watch games, in terms of the mechanisms to monetize those people, free to play, free to watch, am I going to subscribe to a watching channel, or am I going to contribute and pay tribute in some way, or am I going to buy some t-shirts? How am I going to spend my money and show my love that's going to generate revenue?
So for a publisher, let me see if I can go back. I talk about publishing-wise. We don't really care, for Wargaming at least, about monetization this audience directly. I believe it's not a healthy way, because esports went big because of the free-to-play approach. Everyone had access to it. And Victor, our CEO, he doesn't even want us to sell tickets. So very clearly, this is the mindset thing about the vision. He said, no, our opportunity for big events, we had last year in the grand finals, 22,000 people coming to Warsaw to watch the grand finals, the top teams, 120 players coming for 3 days and playing. And we said, no, we don't monetize there. Where we monetize, where we get the money as publishers, is through the extra content creation within the lifetime, that they transform and they play content and start to socialize around the aspect of the gameplay which the top guys play. They see in the streams, this is what the top guys playing, the tanks they play. Hey, this tank, I never played it before. So people swap their progress line within the game to go to another tank, which is right now a very appealing one because the top team is playing. But this is our way to monetizing. At the same time, for the teams, this is a crucial part, because sadly, we neglect them way too heavily, the top stars, the esports stars. It's crucial that we make a an ecosystem which allows them to sustain, meaning through either sponsorship from our side, from the publishers, or ideally, we help them getting partnerships. That's what we do as well. We get partners, example, Red Bull or Intel, they came to us and said, hey guys, before you go to us, how about you sponsor these teams? So we try to get them connected as well, because often the teams come out nowhere, new teams, not the big names, and they don't have the knowledge nor the financial background to stay over 1-2 seasons without a big income. So this is what we try to create, that allow these players to live in the ecosystem. Talking about this young man, Hayden, he managed, last week there was this Pour Julia, this event for cancer research. Within 6 hours, in his audience, and he's not a live streamer. There's a big difference as well. He's not a Twitch live streamer, he streams once a week. He's a YouTuber. He has a massive followership on YouTube, but he made Sunday a stream on Twitch, and within 6 hours, $22,000 donation through only his channel. And he, on average, he had like 10,000 viewers only. So you can see these guys are very, very engaged, for a good cause. They feel something, being part of something bigger. And this is a key element within the esports world as well, in this evolution of entertainment, that the player at home, the viewer, is not a passive content digester anymore. He becomes active. He becomes a part of something bigger. And this is just the beginning. Vainglory does the same. We talked about this now with Blitz tablets. Should we go esports with Blitz? I'm honestly, right now, I'm afraid. Personally, I lead this and said, I'm not sure, guys. We have to build a grassroots. We have to build the right systems and tools in place that players can make tournaments. But how do we show skill levels, streams on a stream? How do we make this happen? And I talked with Christian Siegerstrel about this as well. I said, I love what they do. And they're going to be the first guys breaking down some walls and how they're crushing them. But it's a very tricky thing, especially with mobile devices, because the evolution is so fast in technology. Today it's this, tomorrow the mobile devices suddenly have a completely different format and how they interact. Maybe you have like fingertips and they interact with your device. It's a very tricky situation, very interesting and challenging we're in right now. So that's why I believe it's better to build a base around entertainment, and they adapt and take the content, whichever you release it, if it's a mobile device, if it's a console device, and they take it and recreate it, terms and technology, which is right now the it thing. Because we will never be that fast as developers or publishers as a community or technology is. Any other question?
You switched the way you split the money sent to partners and players between 2014 and 2015, so give more money to players.
Yes.
Can you explain how you distribute that money to the players? Because there's salaries, there's giving the money to the teams, the money directly to the players. How does that work?
So that was an interesting question, because a topic overall, because we don't want to have direct connection with the players individually. We told the teams, hey, you are a brand for us, a team brand. We treat you as a company. So you get based, like we had like 3.5 million. We give them half of it to say is on your ranking for your team itself, for your brand, with second place, first place, 10th, whatever you are in the top league. The other half on a monthly base around content, meaning followership. Some teams didn't even care. The Russians, sample-wise, the majority said, hey, we are fine, because the money they make anyway with the ranking money was more than enough to live like a king, compared to the Americans said, hey, yeah, we would love to do this. So that helped us as well to penetrate regions where we have no strong content creation, because suddenly those big names teams started to create content. It's tricky, it's always because in those teams there are individuals who create amazing content and they feel, hey, I'm not appreciated well enough. My team is not paying me well enough. You know, that, hey, I created 5 videos on myself, no one helped me, but the team gets the money. But this is a good exercise, because we tell those guys, you have to step out of this kid's shoes. You're a business now. It's now a professional company. Your team is a company. And this is something as well helps us to educate the top-level esports teams to get away from this community approach they had in the past, crying, having drama and fights in between, to understand this is business. You should work together. So we use it in 2 ways, beneficial for us and beneficial for the teams to understand they're talking about real money and real business. The partners were not so pleased, I can tell you. When we told them, hey guys, by the way, you get a very big chunk less, but we want better quality and bigger events. They still made it, it's possible, with some cuts and some marketing crossovers, yes, it's possible. So we could see in the past as well, a lot of partners made a very healthy margin on the payments they did, because they still were able to do better and bigger events for the same money.
as you're making a new game, when you're releasing it, would you recommend trying the marketing through like broadcasters or like content creators like YouTubers, or would you focus on other advertisement?
That's a good question. I'm personally, I started nearly 12 years ago at Blizzard community as well in CS, so I'm very heavily community person driven, looking at what's strong, how strong it is. A lot of marketeers are old, I don't want to be rude, but they have this old principle, the dinosaurs as we call them. They know marketing like anything else. And there's a very heavily education even needed within the industry to say, guys, we should focus on YouTubers more on Twitch. And we luckily we're moving more and more now onto this YouTubers and Twitch, because these guys, it's like when my brother plays a game and tells me, hey, this is awesome, play it. I trust this way more than I see nice advertisement on TV, because my brother knows what I play. We have the same interests. I follow him, I like him. So this is the same approach with Twitch and YouTube. And with the technology and evolution of entertainment, it's getting stronger and stronger. So I would always recommend, they're cheaper, they're way better. You have to be honest, they sometimes destroy your games, but this is what you need. You better him officially, and you take this as good feedback and work with it, instead of your community 6 weeks after release, and then you drop in acquisition.
Okay, then we have time for one last question.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. My name is Isom Winton from CyberZ, and you mentioned the importance of taking care of the players and the teams. Do you envision something like an overall sanctioning body, like the IOC for the Olympics, kind of getting into the esports arena? If so, how do you envision the structure there?
It's a brilliant question, because just in the last few weeks I had some discussions with people about this topic. I believe it has to happen, it must happen, because right now publishers and developers, and maybe, I'll be frankly speaking, they're too strong in control, way too much. It's not healthy for the evolution that's happening. We limit it, we label it with our own experience and own limitation around our product, which is not good for the overall industry. And it will happen with or without us. So this is why we should emphasize and help those players, teams to build a group to fight for their interests, fight for their rights, the payments. It will happen for sure, and Wargaming can say, from my perspective at least, at head of competitive gaming, gladly helps the teams there, helps them to get the rights. These are the basics. What are the basic in market should get paid as well? What are the partnerships you should have offered? You know, things where we should help them legally as well. And this is something, it's a need. Right now, some people try to create it, but more about themselves. It's like own interests. They want to maximize financial interests. I just wait for a real organization to come up, to really stand up for the interests of the players, which works on an equal base with all publishers on a global scale.
Okay, with that, well, thank you very much, Mohamed.
Yes.
Awesome presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.